You've arrived here at this exact moment for a reason, and that reason is deeply intertwined with God's purpose for your life. If you're reading this now, you understand that it's not a mere coincidence. As Lewis so beautifully described in The Weight of Glory, there are no ordinary people. Your presence here is part of a divine orchestration, and God is aligning everything in your life towards something extraordinary. Now is the time to open your heart and embrace what God is preparing to unfold in your life, because His plans for you exceed anything you can imagine. Perhaps you've been feeling it already, a stirring in your spirit, an inner sense that something profound is about to happen. That's because you've been chosen for a purpose greater than you could ever fathom. This moment is not about waiting for life to change. It's about realizing that God has already been setting things in motion. As Lewis once said, God does not hurry, yet He is never late. The timing of everything in your life is divinely set, and you're about to step into a season where every prayer, every moment of patience, and every act of faith is rewarded. Think about the trials you've faced, the times when you doubted whether you would ever see a breakthrough. Those challenges were not in vain. As Romans 8:28 reminds us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Each difficulty you've endured has been shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for this very moment. The waiting season was not a season of inaction, but one of preparation. God has been working behind the scenes, and now it's time for those hidden blessings to come to light. Before we delve deeper, there's something important you must understand. Your faith, your persistence, and your trust in God have been magnetic forces, drawing blessings toward you. Lewis often reflected on how our desires, those deep, almost unspoken yearnings, are placed in us by God Himself, guiding us toward His will. In Mere Christianity, Lewis wrote, "If I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world. Your dreams, your hopes, and even your disappointments are all part of a greater journey designed by God. And now, everything you've longed for is aligning because your heart has been tuned to His frequency. So what should you do now? First, start celebrating. Yes, even before the manifestation of your blessings. The Bible tells us in Philippians 4:04, "Rejoice in the Lord always." Again, I will say, rejoice. Celebrate not because everything is perfect, but because you trust that God's plan for you is already unfolding perfectly. When you shift your mindset to one of God's grace to flood into your life, in this season, you'll notice signs that reaffirm this. Perhaps it's a long-awaited opportunity, a new relationship, or even an unexpected blessing that will confirm you're on the right path. These are God's whispers, nudging you to trust Him more deeply. As Lewis observed, we may ignore, but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. Pay attention to these moments. They are divine signals affirming that your breakthrough is near. And finally, remember this. God doesn't just want to bless you for your sake. He's preparing to use you as a vessel to bless others. Your life, your testimony, and your perseverance will be a light to those around you. This is not just your victory. It's a part of God's greater story, and He's chosen you to play a pivotal role in it. Trust, celebrate, and prepare, because what's coming is far greater than you've ever imagined. Chapter 1. embracing God's divine timing. Beloved, you've sensed this moment coming. The subtle whispers of change, the quiet movements in your spirit. Everything you've encountered so far has led to this point. It's no accident that you feel the pull towards something greater, for this is the beauty of God's divine timing. You've been waiting, praying, and enduring for what feels like ages, and now the pieces of your life are aligning for the breakthrough you've been destined for. Lewis eloquently stated, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." This quote captures the essence of your journey. Every challenge, every setback you've experienced was not a delay or misfortune, but part of God's divine orchestration. Each obstacle shaped you, refined your faith, and made you stronger. When things seemed hopeless, God was working behind the scenes, preparing you for a victory far beyond what you could imagine. It's as if you were a precious stone, being cut and polished through the trials so that you could shine brightly for the world to see. Think of the struggles you've faced, the heartache, the loneliness, the times when you thought everything was falling apart. Those weren't random moments of suffering, they were essential to your growth. God uses these seasons to test and strengthen us, much like a gardener prunes a plant so that it may bear more fruit. And now, after the pruning, you are about to enter a season of abundant blessings. As Lewis often pointed out, God's timing is perfect, though rarely aligned with our own. In his book, Mere Christianity, Lewis discusses how our impatience can cause us to misinterpret God's silence as absence, when in reality, he is preparing something far greater than we could envision. During those times of waiting, when nothing seemed to be happening, God was preparing you for this very moment. What you thought were delays were actually divine preparations, placing you in the perfect position to receive his blessings. You may have noticed a shift in your energy, perhaps subtle signs like repeated numbers or a deeper sense of peace amidst the chaos. These are God's reminders that you are aligned with his perfect timing. When we operate within his will, we are no longer bound by the constraints of the physical world. We begin to experience synchronicities and confirmations, nudging us forward, reminding us that everything is falling into place. But this isn't just a singular moment of victory. You are entering a season of overflow, a time where blessings will come not in trickles, but in waves. What once seemed impossible will become your reality. Doors that were once firmly shut will swing wide open. As you step into this new chapter, remember that this moment is about more than just receiving blessings for yourself. As God's chosen, your breakthrough is meant to uplift and inspire others. Your journey of faith, perseverance, and obedience will serve as a light to those around you, showing them the power of trusting in God's timing. Lewis also wrote about the ripple effect of a single life lived in alignment with God's will. Your story, your breakthrough, will not only transform your life, but it will also have a profound impact on those who witness it. You are part of a divine plan much larger than yourself. Just as Christ's victory was not only for himself, but for the salvation of all, your breakthrough will inspire others to find their own path to faith and perseverance. So now in this moment, it's time to rejoice. Celebrate not just for what is about to happen, but for who you have become along the way, the process that brought you here, the struggles, the triumphs, the waiting, was not in vain. Every step was necessary. Every challenge was part of God's plan to mold you into the person you are today. As Lewis reminds us, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. This is your time, chosen one. The blessings, the breakthrough, the opportunities, they're all within reach. And the best part? This is just the beginning. God is already aligning your next steps, preparing even greater things than you could imagine. As you stand on the threshold of this new chapter, filled with anticipation and excitement, let your heart overflow with gratitude. God's timing is perfect, and everything you've been waiting for is finally unfolding. So go ahead, rejoice. You are walking into a season of divine favor, and the world will see the glory of God through your life. This is your moment, and it's only the beginning of all that He has in store for you. Chapter 2, Moving with Divine Flow. Chosen one, in this chapter of your life, it's time to fully embrace the flow of the divine. You've arrived at a point where you no longer need to force outcomes or control every detail. Instead, you're allowing the universe to guide you, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. This is the essence of moving with divine flow, trusting that the universe is carrying you effortlessly toward your highest good. Divine flow isn't about passivity. It's about aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of the universe. When you're in this flow, opportunities present themselves at the perfect moment, and your intuition sharpens. You instinctively know which steps to take, who to connect with, and what to release. You're no longer working against the current. Instead, you're moving with it. And that's when life starts to feel effortless. Think of the times when everything just seemed to fall into place, when people, events, and circumstances aligned in a way that felt almost magical. That's the power of divine flow. It's a state where you're in perfect harmony with the universe and things come together without resistance or struggle. This is where you are now, chosen one. You've done the inner work, celebrated your victories, and are now ready to let the universe guide your steps. One of the key lessons in moving with divine flow is the art of surrender. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up or resigning to whatever happens. It means trusting that the universe knows what's best for you, even if it doesn't align with your timeline or expectations. In this flow, you'll notice that the right people, opportunities, and situations come into your life in perfect alignment with your soul's purpose. You're no longer chasing things that aren't meant for you because you're too busy receiving what truly belongs to you. You're in sync with the universe, and that's why everything feels effortless. But moving with the divine flow also requires deep faith. It's about trusting the process, even when things don't seem to make sense, even when the path ahead isn't clear. The universe may guide you in unexpected ways, but that's because you're being led towards something greater than you can currently envision. Trust the flow, chosen one. Trust that the universe is guiding you toward your destiny. You're entering a season of acceleration where things will start to happen quickly once you fully embrace the flow. What once felt like a struggle will now feel like ease. Doors that were closed will open effortlessly, and you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. This is the power of divine flow, and it is yours to embrace. Remember, chosen one, you're not merely flowing with the universe, you're co-creating with it. Every step you take in faith, every moment of celebration, and every act of gratitude strengthens your connection to the divine. You're an active participant in this process, and the more you align with the flow, the more the universe will reveal to you. So keep moving, keep trusting, and keep flowing with the divine. You've already won, and now it's time to let the universe carry you to even greater heights. Chapter 3, The Power of Inner Celebration. Chosen one. Before the outer world recognizes your success, it begins within. Inner celebration is an energetic shift, a profound recognition that you've already won, even before the manifestation is visible. In your heart, in your spirit, you must start to celebrate now. This is not about waiting until you have physical evidence to prove your success. It's about understanding that the victory is already yours on a spiritual level. Once you align with that truth, the physical manifestation follows effortlessly. Think about it. Every great shift in your life, every breakthrough, began not with the outside world acknowledging your potential, but with you acknowledging it first. You felt the shift within, the certainty that things were going to change, and that feeling, that inner celebration, is what brought the external changes into being. The same principle applies now. The universe has already granted your breakthrough, and your inner celebration is the energetic signal that allows it to manifest. This is why it's so important to start celebrating right now, even if the people around you don't see what's coming. Even if your current circumstances don't reflect the victory that's already yours, celebrate anyway. You know deep down that something is shifting. You can feel the energy building, and that's because your spirit is aligning with the frequency of abundance. This inner celebration is a powerful form of gratitude. You're thanking the universe not just for what you have, but for what's on its way. And when you offer that gratitude from your heart, you open the floodgates for even more blessings to come through. In a world that teaches us to wait for external validation, inner celebration is a revolutionary act. It's a declaration that you trust the process, that you trust yourself, and that you trust the universe. You are no longer seeking approval or permission from the outside world to feel successful. You've already given yourself permission to celebrate. And that's what sets you apart as a chosen one. The more you celebrate within, the more magnetic you become. Your energy shifts, and suddenly you are no longer chasing after opportunities, they are drawn to you. People, situations, and circumstances begin to align in your favor, almost as if by magic. But it's not magic. It's the power of your inner celebration. You've aligned yourself with the vibration of success, and now everything else is simply catching up to that energy. This inner celebration is also a form of self-love. You're acknowledging your worth, your potential, and your divine right to abundance. You're telling yourself that you deserve to win, to thrive, and to be celebrated. And as you hold that belief within, the universe responds by sending you people and experiences that reflect that truth. So, chosen one, take a moment right now to celebrate. Close your eyes and feel the victory in your heart. Picture yourself living the life you've been dreaming of, with everything you've ever wanted falling into place. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the excitement. Let that energy wash over you and radiate out into the universe, because when you celebrate within, the universe has no choice but to mirror that celebration in your outer world. This is how powerful you are. Your inner world creates your outer reality. So don't wait for the physical evidence. Create it by celebrating now. You're already victorious. The blessings are already on their way. All you have to do is align with that truth, and the universe will do the rest. Chapter 4, The Universe Signals and Your Spiritual GPS. As a chosen one, you have a unique connection with the universe, and the signals it sends you are like a spiritual GPS, guiding you toward your destiny. Think about all the signs you've been seeing recently, the repeated numbers, sudden bursts of intuition, or those moments when a song or phrase resonates so deeply that it feels like it was meant just for you. These signals are not random. They are the universe's way of communicating with you, nudging you forward and confirming that you're on the right path. You've likely noticed an increase in synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to defy logic. Maybe you glance at the clock and see 11:11, or you overhear a conversation that directly addresses an issue you've been grappling with. These moments are not just interesting, they are direct messages from the universe. The universe is always speaking to you, but right now it's speaking louder than ever because you are so close to a major breakthrough. It's like a compass aligning you with the energy of abundance, success, and spiritual fulfillment. Why are you seeing these signs more frequently now? Because the universe is getting ready to deliver what you've been manifesting. It's no accident that you're seeing these numbers and signals. You are in divine alignment, and the universe wants you to be fully aware of what's coming your way. These signals are confirmations that your thoughts, energy, and intentions are in harmony with the cosmic forces shaping your reality. But here's the key. You need to listen. You need to stay tuned in, paying attention not just to the big obvious signs, but also to the subtle nudges that guide you day by day. Sometimes the universe whispers rather than shouts, and it's in those quiet moments that the most profound guidance comes through. Maybe it's an idea that pops into your mind out of nowhere, or perhaps it's a feeling that you should take a different route to work or make an unexpected call. These small signals are just as important as the big ones because they are all part of the divine navigation system leading you to your breakthrough. The more attuned you become to these signals, the more you will notice them and the faster things will manifest for you. It's like tuning a radio. Once you find the right frequency, the signal comes through clearly and you can hear the message without interference. This is your spiritual GPS, and it's guiding you toward your next level. When you see these signs, don't dismiss them as coincidences. Celebrate them, because each one is a message from the universe that you are exactly where you need to be. The numbers, the synchronicities, the gut feelings, they're all telling you to keep moving forward, to keep trusting the process, and to prepare for what's coming. And make no mistake, chosen one, what's coming is bigger than anything you've experienced before. You've been preparing for this whether you realize it or not, and now the universe is giving you the green light. It's time to follow those signals and step fully into your destiny. Your role in this process is to stay present, stay aware, and trust that the universe has your back. You don't need to know all the details or have everything figured out. The universe is handling that for you. All you need to do is stay aligned, stay open, and continue to follow the signs. Every time you see a synchronicity, every time you feel that nudge in your spirit, take it as a confirmation that you are on the right path and that your breakthrough is closer than ever. Remember, the universe rewards those who are ready, those who are willing to listen, and those who are brave enough to follow the guidance they receive. You are one of those people. You've been chosen because you have the courage, the wisdom, and the spiritual insight to navigate this journey. The universe wouldn't be sending you these signals if it didn't believe in your ability to step into your highest potential. So, trust the process, follow the guidance, and get ready to celebrate your upcoming victory. Chapter 5, The Celebration of Complete Alignment. Chosen one, you've reached the pinnacle of your journey in this chapter, the celebration of complete alignment. Everything you've experienced up to this point, all the lessons, the growth, the victories, has been leading you to this moment of total harmony with the universe. You are now living in a state of complete alignment where your inner world and outer world are in perfect sync. This is the energy of true mastery, the understanding that you are a co-creator with the universe, and your thoughts, intentions, and actions shape your reality. The celebration in this chapter isn't just about the blessings you've received. It's about the person you've become. You've stepped into your power as a chosen one, fully owning your divine authority and your ability to manifest your highest desires. You're no longer waiting for things to happen. You are actively creating them with every thought, every feeling, and every action. This is the true celebration, knowing that you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. As you continue to live in this state of alignment, you'll notice the world around you begins to reflect your inner state. Relationships become more harmonious, opportunities flow to you effortlessly, and challenges become stepping stones to even greater success. This is the magic of alignment. When your inner world is in balance, your outer world follows suit. But this celebration doesn't mean that your journey is over. In fact, it's just the beginning. Living in alignment is a continuous process, one that requires ongoing self-awareness, growth, and connection to the divine. The more you stay aligned, the more you will continue to evolve, and the more blessings you will receive. This is the beauty of the journey. You are always growing, always expanding, always becoming more of who you truly are. So, chosen one, it's time to celebrate not just the victories, but the journey itself. Celebrate the fact that you are in perfect alignment with your divine purpose. Celebrate the fact that you are a powerful co-creator, capable of manifesting your highest desires. Celebrate the fact that you are living in a state of complete flow, where everything comes to you with ease and grace. This is your time, chosen one. You've done the work, you've embraced the flow, and now it's time to fully step into your role as a master of your reality. The universe is celebrating with you, showering you with blessings and opportunities beyond your wildest dreams. So, keep celebrating, keep trusting, and keep aligning with the divine. Your journey has only just begun, and the best is yet to come. As we come to the end of this powerful chapter, chosen one, take a moment to fully absorb everything that has been shared. You weren't meant to stumble upon this message by accident. This is your divine confirmation. Everything you've been feeling, everything you've been sensing is leading up to this moment. Your time has come to celebrate not just the blessings that are arriving, but the magnificent soul you've become in the process. You've been on this journey, often feeling alone, misunderstood, or even doubted by those around you. But now you know deep in your spirit that you've been chosen for something far greater. The signs are all there, the synchronicities, the divine timing. And now, this message is your final push, your signal from the universe that it's time to rejoice. You are in alignment, and your life is about to unfold in ways you never thought possible. Before you leave, remember this. Your celebration starts now. You don't need to wait for the manifestation to arrive. Celebrate your breakthrough before it even shows up in the physical realm. Because in the spiritual realm, it's already done. The universe has declared it, and now you just need to align yourself with that truth. And as always, if you're a true chosen one, you know what to do. Like this message, subscribe to Cosmic Harmony and leave a comment with 77 to send that powerful signal to the universe. Replay this message to absorb all its energy and to make the signal even stronger. Those who are meant to hear this message will stay until the end, just like you have. The rest, well, they aren't ready yet. Chapter 6, The Shift From waiting to receiving. There comes a profound moment in the life of every believer, a moment when the tides shift from the long and seemingly endless season of waiting to the miraculous season of receiving. This shift isn't just a change in the external world, but a deep and personal transformation within the soul, aligning one's spirit to the perfect will of God. This chapter marks the end of striving and the beginning of stepping fully into the promises that God has laid out for you. As the author Lewis wisely said, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. In this shift, we are not just hoping or wishing, but knowing that God has prepared the way and that His timing is perfect. For so long, you've been in a season of preparation. You've waited, you've prayed, and you've trusted in the Lord's timing. Yet there comes a time in every spiritual journey when the waiting ceases and the time for receiving begins. It's in this moment that the doors which once seemed closed so tightly are now swinging open effortlessly. The opportunities that once felt out of reach are now within your grasp because you have been prepared to receive them. You've been faithful in the small things, and now God is entrusting you with more. As the Bible teaches in Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. This is your season of much. But let's take a moment to reflect on this transition. This shift from waiting to receiving is not just about circumstances aligning or blessings pouring into your life. It's an internal shift, a deep transformation of your mindset and spirit. You're no longer in a state of wondering or doubting whether things will work out. You're in a state of deep, unshakable faith, knowing that they will. This is the difference between waiting passively and actively receiving with an open heart. Lewis often spoke of the importance of faith, especially in the face of uncertainty. He wrote, "Faith is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted, in spite of your changing moods." The shift to receiving, then, is not about eliminating doubt entirely, but about choosing to trust God even when doubt tries to creep in. It is an active, daily choice to believe that the Lord is faithful and that His promises are true. It's no longer about simply hoping for a breakthrough, but standing in the confident knowledge that God's plan is already unfolding perfectly. One of the most profound aspects of this shift is how it changes your approach to life. You move from a place of striving and chasing after blessings to a place of alignment and surrender, where blessings naturally flow into your life. When you are in a state of waiting, there is often an underlying sense of lack, wondering if the thing you desire will ever come to pass. But in the season of receiving, you shift into the energy of abundance. You stop chasing and start attracting because your heart is now aligned with God's will. As Lewis wrote in Mere Christianity, the Christian does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because He loves us. This perfectly reflects the nature of receiving, understanding that the blessings coming your way are not because you have strived or worked hard enough to earn them, but because God is good and He loves you. You don't need to force anything into existence. You simply need to open your heart and hands to receive what God has already prepared for you. But there is another critical aspect of this transition: letting go of control. How many of us try to manipulate or orchestrate every detail of our lives? In the waiting season, it's easy to get caught up in trying to make things happen on our own timeline. Yet, in the receiving season, there is a deep release, a letting go of the need to control every outcome. As Proverbs 3:05-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This is the essence of faith, trusting that God's plan is greater than any we could conceive on our own. In this new season, God is asking you to trust Him in ways you never have before, to release your grip on how you think things should happen, and allow Him to bring about outcomes that are far better than you could have ever imagined. When you let go of your attachment to specific outcomes, you allow God to work in miraculous ways. You are no longer blocking the flow of His blessings with your need for control. Instead, you are stepping into the beautiful divine flow of His perfect will. This shift is the true meaning of faith, knowing that what is meant for you will never miss you. What God has ordained for your life is already on its way, and no force on earth can stop it. As Romans 8:28 assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This shift from waiting to receiving is a testimony to God's faithfulness. You no longer need to strive, struggle, or chase after blessings. You simply need to say yes, yes to the opportunities that God is bringing into your life. Yes to the abundance. Yes to the divine timing that is unfolding perfectly right before your eyes. The receiving season is not just about material blessings or external success. It's about a shift in your spiritual vibration. You are now operating from a place of abundance rather than lack. You have moved out of the energy of hoping and wishing and into the energy of knowing and believing. This is the frequency where miracles happen. When your spirit is in alignment with God's will and things manifest in your life quickly, effortlessly, and in perfect divine timing. Lewis beautifully captured this idea in his reflections on the nature of joy and faith. In Surprised by Joy, he writes, "Joy is the serious business of heaven. The joy that comes from receiving isn't just about getting what you've prayed for. It's about the deep spiritual fulfillment of knowing that you are walking in alignment with God's purpose for your life. It's about understanding that the season of waiting has prepared you for this exact moment, and now you are ready to embrace all that God has in store for you. As you embrace this new energy, you'll notice that things begin to manifest faster than you ever imagined. Opportunities, relationships, and blessings that once felt distant or out of reach now seem to come to you with ease. This is not by accident, but by design. God has been preparing you for this moment, and now that you are in alignment, the doors are opening wide. So what should you do in this season of receiving? First, celebrate. Celebrate the fact that you have made it through the waiting season and are now stepping into the promises of God. Take a moment to reflect on all the growth, perseverance, and faith that have brought you to this point. As 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 instructs us, rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Your season of receiving is a direct result of your faithfulness during the waiting, and it's time to give thanks and rejoice. Second, stay open. The season of receiving requires an open heart and an open mind. Be willing to receive in ways that might be unexpected. Sometimes the blessings God has for us don't come in the form we anticipated. Stay receptive to the ways God is working in your life, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Trust that His plans are higher than yours and remain flexible to the divine surprises that may come your way. Third, continue to trust. Just because you're in a season of receiving doesn't mean you won't face challenges. In fact, new levels often come with new tests. But remember that the God who brought you to this moment is the same God who will sustain you through whatever comes next. Keep your eyes fixed on Him and don't let fear or doubt creep in. As Lewis reminds us, courage, dear heart. Stay courageous in your faith, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Finally give back. As you receive the abundance that God has for you, don't forget to bless others. The season of receiving isn't just about you. It's about the overflow of blessings that God has poured into your life so that you can pour into others. Whether it's through acts of service, generosity, or simply offering encouragement, use this season to be a vessel of God's love to those around you. This is your time, chosen one. The waiting is over, and the receiving has begun. The shift has already happened in the spiritual realm, and now it's manifesting in the physical. Embrace it fully, knowing that God has seen your faithfulness, heard your prayers, and is now delivering exactly what you need. In conclusion, the shift from waiting to receiving is not just about getting what you've been praying for. It's about a transformation in your spirit, a deep alignment with God's will, and a surrender to His perfect timing. You've done the work, you've been patient, and now the blessings are here. Let this season be one of joy, abundance, and faith as you step into all that God has for you. As Lewis so wisely put it, the great thing, if one can, is to stop regarding all the unpleasant things as interruptions of one's own or real life. The truth is, of course, that what one calls the interruptions are precisely one's real life, the life God is sending one day by day. This is the life God has sent you. This season of receiving is not an interruption, but the very path you were always meant to walk. Embrace it fully and walk confidently into the abundance that God has prepared for you. Chapter 7, The Energy of Joyful Anticipation. As you continue on your journey of faith, chosen one, there comes a moment when you must embrace more than just celebration of the present. You must step into a state of joyful anticipation. This is not simply waiting for events to unfold in a passive manner, but a dynamic, active expectation that what God has in store for you is already on its way. It's about living in alignment with the truth that your life is unfolding according to His divine plan, trusting completely in His timing and surrendering your need for control over how and when your blessings will arrive. Lewis beautifully captures this essence of faith in his writings, particularly in The Weight of Glory, where he explains that we are like children making sandcastles, while God is preparing for us something infinitely more grand. Lewis reminds us that our longings and desires are signs pointing us toward a deeper joy, a higher fulfillment that is already being orchestrated by God, even when we cannot see it yet. Living in joyful anticipation means trusting that everything, yes, everything is working together for your good, just as Romans 8:28 promises. Imagine for a moment the excitement of a child on Christmas Eve, knowing that something wonderful is about to happen, but without needing to know exactly what. This childlike wonder is what joyful anticipation looks like in the heart of a believer. You're not just hoping that good things will happen, but you're confidently expecting them because you trust in God's faithfulness. You're not overwhelmed by anxiety about the future because you know that He has already aligned everything perfectly. In this state of joyful anticipation, your faith becomes like an anchor in the sea of uncertainty, keeping you steady and focused on the abundant future God has prepared for you. Lewis also emphasizes that the future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour. Whatever he does, whoever he is, this perspective reminds us that no matter how much we may worry or try to force things to happen, the future will arrive in God's time, not ours. Joyful anticipation allows you to release that burden of trying to control outcomes, and instead, it invites you to celebrate the process. You are already vibrating at the frequency of abundance because you believe that everything is already unfolding according to God's perfect will. Living in this energy transforms not only your mind, but the atmosphere around you. When you carry joyful anticipation in your heart, you exude a quiet confidence that others can sense. It's magnetic. People are drawn to your peace, your optimism, and your unwavering belief in the good that is coming. This is the kind of energy that doesn't just shift your perspective, but changes the world around you. As Proverbs 17:22 says, "A joyful heart is good medicine." And in this state, your joy becomes contagious, spreading light and hope to everyone you encounter. This anticipation isn't rooted in wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's anchored in the knowledge of God's promises. When you stand in faith, knowing that God is working behind the scenes to bring about His plans for your life, you create a ripple effect. Opportunities, people, and circumstances start aligning in ways you couldn't have imagined, all because you've aligned your heart with the energy of trust and gratitude. As Lewis would say, we may ignore, but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. The world is crowded with Him, and when you live in joyful anticipation, you start to see how God's presence saturates every moment of your life, guiding and preparing you for what's next. It's also essential to understand that this state of mind lifts you out of any feelings of scarcity or desperation. When you approach life from a place of lack, you essentially signal to God that you doubt His ability to provide. But when you shift to joyful anticipation, you are affirming that you trust Him completely, that you know His plans for you are good, and that His timing is perfect. Philippians 4:6-7 encourages us to be anxious for nothing, but in everything, with thanksgiving, make our requests known to God, and in return, the peace of God will guard our hearts. This peace is what fuels joyful anticipation. You no longer strive or worry about how things will unfold. Instead, you live each day with the confidence that God's promises are already on their way. And because you trust Him, you're able to celebrate the present while eagerly awaiting the future. You stop being fixated on the destination and begin to appreciate the beauty of the journey. This shift in mindset not only brings you joy, but also allows you to remain open and flexible as God directs your steps. Think of joyful anticipation as a spiritual posture, a way of saying to God, I trust you. I know my blessings are coming, and I'm ready for them whenever they arrive. In doing so, you invite more of His goodness into your life because you are no longer blocking it with fear, doubt, or impatience. You are living in alignment with His timing, and as a result, the universe responds by bringing things together in ways you could have never orchestrated on your own. So, chosen one, step boldly into this energy of joyful anticipation. Trust that God is working in the unseen, and your only job is to remain open, ready, and expectant. Celebrate in advance, for your breakthrough is near. The more you embody this energy, the more you will witness doors opening, obstacles clearing, and the realization of the promises God has placed in your heart. This is your season to walk in faith, filled with the joy of knowing that God's timing is always perfect.